channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and at Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us today. All right, Jay Briggs is with us. We got Brad Francis, Javon Birch, Ninos will be signing a little later. He's last on the list tonight. Here's how they're going to line up for this evening. Briggs, Francis, Burts, Ninos, and I will close this one out. A happy Thanksgiving to everyone in Canada. Rod Zawacki off today, off from the show for his holiday. So let's go ahead and let's get this one underway. Just an NFL game on the board, some NBA preseason. And, of course, we'll be looking at we'll look at some season win totals from NBA. As we told you we would. We told you we'd be covering in this little lull in October. We'd be covering some NBA. We have some NBA season win totals for you. We got some game props here from the NFL game, as well as a series pick for you here from the upcoming divisional series from baseball. So let's go ahead. Let's get this one underway. Jumping up the card today on Monday will be Jay Briggs. I'm over at Pick Dogs at Premium. He's also part of the halftime show with Mitch. So make sure you tune in tonight for the halftime of Raiders and the Chiefs. So let's bring in Jay Briggs in right now. Jay, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony? What's going on, guys?
Going great. All right, here we go tonight, 8:15 Eastern Time. Monday Night Football features the Chiefs here to host the Raiders. Chiefs laying 7, total 51.5. You'll be looking at this one a different way.
Yeah, I'm looking at this game a little different way, and to me, this is just I like the value here in this pick. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes to throw an interception. We're getting plus money. We're getting plus 140 on this bet, and I had to go back and look at the numbers, and this is how I got there. Last season, Patrick Mahomes didn't throw an interception in the 2 games against the Raiders. He didn't throw one at all. But in those 2 games, the Chiefs blew out the Raiders. Go look at both games. I think they won both games by 20+. This is a divisional matchup, though, however. And like Big Al used to say, this is a team working with double revenge from last season. I think tonight's game will be closer than 20 points like last year. And I can see this defense coming up with some opportunities. I also went back to the year before, 2020, and what I found was in both games against the Raiders in 2020, he threw an interception. So he didn't throw one last year in both games, but they were both blowouts. But the year before, the Raiders stole one and the Chiefs won one, but he threw an interception in both. I think we see an interception from him tonight at plus 140. He already has 2 this season. I think the Raiders can create one here tonight.
All right, we got Jay here on record here with Pat Mahomes to throw an interception at plus 140. He's thrown 2 picks, and he's thrown a pick in each of the last 2 games here against the Colts in that debacle against the Colts, and then again in that blowout win here against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, man, I think he's a gunslinger kind of, so he wants to make big plays, and sometimes they can get you in trouble. And sometimes he fits the ball in tight window. It's just cause for a tip pass or anything like that. I can just see a ball getting tipped, not even his fault, off a receiver, interception, So I think we can get one tonight, and I like the value we're getting with it with plus money here.
Yeah, he's thrown no fewer than 35 passes in all 4 games. It's been 39, 35, 35, 37. So he's pretty active back there. There's a lot of throwing.
Yeah, he's going to drop back tonight. This Raiders pass defense isn't the best, so I think Mahomes will have some opportunities to throw the ball. But with opportunities to throw the ball, there's also opportunities to throw an interception.
There you go. More volume passing there. Mahomes to throw an interception plus 140. This one will have a start time here of 8:15 Eastern Time. All right, Jay, let's take over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. Of course, we know there's one game here on the board here from the NFL as we're proceeding, the divisional round series here. Division series of playoffs here from baseball coming up tomorrow and a lot more. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs?
Yes, sir, Tony. So I got my $20 NFL best bet up there tonight. It's 9-4 overall this season, my NFL best bet. I got that up there for y'all guys tonight. I also got the side up there for y'all tonight. I like the total tonight, and I like the side. I think I found some good value on both sides. So both plays up there tonight. Go grab those. And also, like you said, we got some baseball tomorrow, more playoff baseball. Unfortunately, my second favorite team, the Blue Jays, went out in tragic fashion the other day. But, we got some great series still going on tomorrow. I can't wait to tune in. I'm going to have some plays on that. That's what I got going on at Pick Dogs Premium. It's a great time to hop on a 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day. We got college football that's going to be right around the corner on Saturday. We got an NFL right on Thursday. And NFL Sunday is going to be right here. These weeks be flying by. We're already a month in to football, you know? So, and the NBA is going to be right here in 10 days or so. So I can't wait for that. So it's a great week coming up. My birthday week. My birthday's on Sunday. The Cowboys play the Eagles in a huge matchup. Excited for that. So we got a great week coming up, man. I expect to knock this NFL week out the park. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money, guys. Got more Jay Briggs over at Pick Dogs. Premium action up tonight on the board here from the NFL. NFL best bet on the board right now, $20. Of course, credit guarantee means it must win or the amount you purchase is credit back into your account. That is credit guarantee right now on the board. Also is an action here with the total of the day. You can go that route here, but here we are on a Monday. Probably a good time to get on board with that 7-day all sports pass from Jay. You'll get all of Jay's premium plays for 7 days. He'll be in action here from the NFL in that 7-day period. You got NFL here on Monday, Thursday, as well as Sunday. College football this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we have 4 days of college football here in that 7-day pass. And of course, most of the NL divisional series here play action here from the best of 5 series coming up. That'll also be part of the entire series. You're part of that 7-day pass. So lots of action here. This is a good time of year to get on board here with the long-term pass. That 7-day pass is really good. 15 off is a promo code for October. It'll take 15% off your purchase. And you can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Jay, as always, great having you on the show. Of course, keep up the great work. You do a lot on Pick Dogs, and we'll catch you in the halftime show tonight with you and Mitch.
Yes, sir. Me and Mitch will be on live tonight. Catch us there. Let's have a good night.
You got it.
See y'all there.
See you there. Jay Briggs here on the drive through. Let's continue coverage. I'll be there. Jay and Mitch, the halftime show. Run the 2-minute warning. Get your phones out. Get your tablets out. Head on over to the Pick Dogs YouTube channel and click the little thumbnail to get the show. Get into the waiting room. Once the show goes live, it switches live automatically, so there's no action you have to take after that. So just hit the thumbnail. There'll be a little countdown clock there, and then once they're live with them. So no refreshing. Just hit the thumbnail around the 2-minute warning, so you could get in those halftime picks there from Mitch and Jay. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through. Now it is time to welcome in Brad Francis. You'll find Brad over at Pick Dogs Premium. Also, check him out this weekend in the UFC show with Mills right after the morning show on Saturday. Let's bring in Brad right now. Let's see. We'll bring in Brad. Let's get to him here. Let's see. Brad Francis. Here we go. Brad, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Tony? How we doing?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Well, the NBA, I'm looking at the countdown clock. 8 days, 1 hour, and 19 minutes away from the start of the season. You're going to be looking here at a season win total involving the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Bulls to get over 42.5 wins this season. The Bulls, they won 46 games last season, and I see them having a similar season this year. They added some depth in both their front court as well as their back court with additions of Andre Drummond as well as Goran Dragic. DeRozan, he was an absolute beast last year, and I don't see him digressing that much. His play style is very efficient, and he fits his offensive system very well. There is a lot of questions about Lonzo Ball, if he'll play or not, but last year, this team was haunted by injuries throughout the season as well, and they still played well. This team does have good depth, so even with Lonzo Ball may not play, I'm not too worried about it. And, I expect a big year from Vucevic as well. He's had some substantial time with this team now, as well as Patrick Williams now that he's entering his 3rd year. So I think those guys both have big years. And, like I said, they won 46 games this year. Other than the questions around Lonzo Ball, I think this team got better with their offseason addition. So, yeah, I like this over 42.5 a lot. I feel like this number's just a little too low. I thought it would have been more around that 45, 46 wins like they did last year, but they dropped it all the way down to 42.5. I think it's a good time to hop on.
All right, we got Brad here on the Bulls, over 42.5 wins here. Of course, in this one with Brad's season win totals. Yeah, the Bulls had that little spark. Of course, DeRozan with some of those clutch shots at the end. But I think at the end of the season, we just saw some issues there with their defense. Kobe White's still in there. He's kind of fallen down that depth chart a little bit, though.
Yeah, it has. But, like I said, with the addition of Dragic, it helps their depth a lot. He's a guy who plays defense, plays scrappy. So, hopefully he could build some of that culture in their front court. And, hopefully their defensive woes kind of go away there.
Yeah, Green's a pretty good. Javonte Green's also someone who can help there as well. Always health is always the question. It's always question all the time with the Bulls, with any of the teams out there in the NBA. But they have the Bulls here over 42.5 wins here as the NBA season just 8 days away. All right, Brad, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Screen for tonight's action. Well, we know there's just one game here on the board from the NFL, preceding a big night in baseball on Tuesday with 4 playoff games. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I got my 5-star Monday Night Football play tonight. It's just my favorite play for tonight's game. I'll be back with some baseball tomorrow, but keeping it live with one play, only $15 on the side.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Brad Francis over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, there is a Monday Night Football tonight, Raiders and the Chiefs. And Brad is in action here with Monday Night Football Premium Pick. Is $15 special, must win, or the amount is credited back into your account. That is credit guarantee there, as you see that on the tag there over on Brad's handicapper page. That premium play special there. Or again, the long-term passes will serve you well. If you want to get on board with Brad, he's got a 7-day all sports pass. We're talking about the 7-day pass because here we are on a Monday. You'll get coverage here from the NFL here on Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, as well as college football. We got games here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So 4 days of college football, 3 days of NFL, and all the playoff baseball here for a week. So really good value with that 7-day all sports pass. You can try Brad out for 7 days. Then next Monday, well, you can renew it, upgrade for an entire month, and that would be a great way to look at it there. With NBA getting really close, as we're having all these sports starting to overlap, this is a great time to get on board with Brad over at Pick Dogs. But of course, the NHL has its North American opener tomorrow. You're involved in NHL?
Oh yeah, I'll be betting some NHL for sure this year.
All right, so that 7-day pass as well with the NHL beginning tomorrow with those 2 games, and we're right off with these big cards starting this week. So again, lots of action here with that 7-day pass, 6 days of hockey, your 4 days of college football, 3 days of your NFL, and of course there's 7 days here of baseball with that 7-day pass. So a good time to get on board with Brad Francis over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion, even greater value there, and you can also get 15% off that 7-day pass when you use 15 off as the promo code. All right, Brad, as always, great having you on the show. We'll talk again on Friday, but we'll just let everybody know that on Saturday, you and Mills put together a UFC show on UFC weekends.
Yep, and the UFC is finally back this weekend, so me and Mills will be live after the live show on Saturday.
So I take note of that, guys. Brad and Mills with the UFC show on right after the morning show on Saturday, so you get those great picks from them, that big card. All right, Brad, have a great rest of the week. We'll talk with you again Friday.
All right, thank you, Tony. Have a good one.
You got it. Brad Francis here on the drive-thru. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we will do a complete recap at the end show. We're seeing a lot of people come in. We do have a prop there for you from the NFL. We'll get to that a little later on the recap. Let's continue on here. Since NBA's in the air, well, I guess we're going to continue on with our coverage. And of course, we're going to go ahead and bring in Javon Birch. You'll find him over at Pick Dog Spring, where he's been on absolute fire. He's been doing great work up there. Let's bring him up in right now. John, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Doing good, man. It looks great when you're doing over 2,000 units over the last 30 days. Jovan here has been on absolute fire on the boards. As we'll continue here with Jovan, we covered this game last year. I remember this season win total last year because I was kidding with you. Hey, you don't think they have a shot for the Eastern Conference Finals? And you were like, well, we'll see. You liked them over last year, but this year is a completely different situation after the success that Boston had last year, and of course a little coaching drama. A lot of coaching drama in between now. So you're going to be looking at the Celtics.
Yeah, man. I cashed last year on the C's, man. And this year, I'm expecting to cash with them. But this year, it's a different situation, as you alluded to. I'm on the under in season wins for the Celtics in this one. Coming in with high expectations this year, but I know my Celtics. And with the backdrop being, the year suspension of Ime Udoka, that's going to weigh heavily on, in spots through the course of the season. Now, starting off the season, they're going to be without Robert Williams, which is huge for their defense and, what they like to do on the defensive end. It's going to be absolutely huge. They're going to be into more high-scoring games, I believe, and, starting the season with the personnel that they have. And, while some games are going to suit them well, other games it's not because they're going to need that defensive presence that Robert Williams brings to the table. And it's gonna be a negative in certain games. Now, let's say I'm not saying they're gonna come off on a slow start, but they're not gonna. There's gonna be let's put it this way: the East is a juggernaut. Just name the teams: Brooklyn, Philly's gotten better, um, Chicago, Cleveland's gotten better with the addition of Donovan Mitchell. Just go down the list. It's a juggernaut.
Atlanta, Toronto, yeah, there's a lot.
I didn't even name Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto. These teams. It's gonna be a battle every night, and they're the hunted right now. They're not the hunters. They're the hunted because they're the Eastern Conference champs. So that not having Robert Williams through Christmas, it's gonna be a big thing. So they're gonna be in the hunt, but I think they're gonna lose some games that they maybe should win in certain spots. With these back to backs, in the NBA, man, it's a gauntlet. So I think when all's said and done, when you look at the way the schedule shapes up, I think it's gonna stay just under the season wins for this ball club. It's set at 53.5. And I think that if they do lose, and then if they do, let's say have a rough stretch of it, that's when the coaching or the coach that's no longer there, he's gonna be missed because he was a whisperer to guys in the locker room, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. He knew how to handle these guys. He knew how to talk to these guys. He knew when to get stern with these guys, and trust me, it was a big benefit to this team. Now they say in the NBA that the coaches don't matter. For the most part, I believe that's true, but there are other situations, other times, where it couldn't be furthest from the truth. And I think that in this case with this team, if you see some adversity happen in that locker room, yeah, I know this team. They have a couple knuckleheads on this roster, where the Marcus Smarts of the world, where they think they could do no wrong. They think they could put up 100 shots, and it could go. I'm not going to say downhill fast, but it could be a rockier season than we might expect. So take the under on the season wins for the Celtics.
All right, we got Javon on record here. Last year was over, but it was a lower total. That this one's under 53.5 here with the Celtics. We know the coaching situation there. Of course, Williams, as we know, is a huge miss. Robert Williams. And one thing to note there is that I'm a numbers guy. I look at the efficiency numbers. Getting back to the defensive, offensive efficiency numbers, getting back to that again here in NBA. And one thing to note is the Celtics' defensive numbers went south when Williams wasn't on the court. There was a lot of space in the middle. We saw a lot of high-scoring games. So you may think over here to start the season. Of course, there's some things I keep in my mind. Is look maybe think over. And I think the key here is looking at some of these acquisitions here. We know with Brogdon coming over, then. The question mark for me here is the development here of Peyton Pritchard. He's an important player because he comes off the bench. He's part of that second unit, and that's really where again, if you're building leads, you got a pretty good starting five here. You got Tatum, Brown, of course, if they stay healthy, Smart on the court, White. But again, what's that second unit going to look like?
Yeah, exactly. You have the other Williams guy right there, Grant Williams. He's another integral part from last year's ball club. He did some good things, So, they have a couple of other additions, to their bench, So, that's important in all that. We got to see how Joe Mazzulla how he sets his rotations. He's a holdover from the Brad Stevens era. He wasn't a Udoka guy. So, and the crazy thing is, all the other assistants are Udoka guys. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays itself out. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a good season for the Celtics. They're definitely going to be in the mix. They're going to be top 4 in the East. That's for damn sure. I would say top 3. Just see how these teams battle it out. But at the end of the day, man, I just think for as far as season wins. Yeah, it's going to stay just under. I think they get to 50, 51. It's going to be tight. But at 53.5, yes, it might be a little bit too much.
Yeah, and interesting to know what will help you get to that, some of the numbers here on how this playoff positioning works, right? Teams kind of trying to – it's going to be a tight East. no doubt about that.
Right.
And with the gap between between the 1 and 6 seed, I think it's going to be pretty narrow this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Just just with the teams that gotten better, in the off season on paper, yeah, I think it's gonna be tighter. Then you have the West. The West has, I would say, gotten weakened, but uh, the West is still, they still have some players there. I think with the players in the NBA, the stars, I think it's spread out across the board. I'm not saying the NBA's done a good job with that, but that the way it's shaping up, it's not West heavy as it once was, for like I guess like the last 15 years, or you know what I mean? Because the West was pretty, they basically had most of the talent, as far as a star's perspective. Now it's pretty spread out. The East,
Yeah.
Saying has a lot of formidable players, on their rosters. So it's
Yep,
gonna
man.
be it's gonna be a tough night back. Look at the schedule. With these teams, you're gonna have marquee matchups. More times than not, on a 7-day week schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough with these teams getting better now, and no doubt about that. And of course, out in the West, we're seeing Portland and Utah. Those are the teams probably heading downward. The Lakers look like I don't know how much improvement you're going to see. Lakers, you got a rookie coach, his first job in the league, and he's going to try to coach these. Oh, good luck here. I mean, that has a recipe for disaster already written all over it. I mean, of course, it's preachy. Everyone's saying the right things, but I don't know. I don't know if you put a rookie head coach in this scenario.
Well, I mean, with the Lakers, it helps that he's a former player, and he's a no nonsense guy from what I remember from him. So it's not like he's gonna be a pushover to anybody, LeBron James or anybody else. The main thing is, are they gonna be able to hold down Russell Westbrook and the shenanigans he brings on the court? Because last year was a unmitigated disaster.
Yeah, it was, and of course, you think of Davante Adams. He was around that circus there in Milwaukee. We had Cassell, who was that big three they had? Who was that? There was
big dog Robinson.
Big Dog Robinson.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen. Yeah, there was those teams there. That was quite a circus there. But he was pretty much a role player. George Karl didn't like him very much. He should have gotten more minutes, I felt, in his time there. But I know that only because being around the locker room, I had a buddy of mine asked him about Davon Ham, and he kind of gave him a look like he was nuts. So you could kind of tell right there from his experience, from what Karl might have thought of him. But anyway, yeah, that should be an interesting look there here out west. With that Lakers situation, Clippers, they look better. I've been watching their preseason games. They look fast. I think that you've got Kawhi back.
I mean, with the Clippers, they showed a lot last year. They showed a lot of I would say they showed a lot of heart. With not having, for the majority of the season, they didn't. Well, not for a good portion of the season, they didn't have Paul George, and for the entire season, they didn't have Kawhi Leonard. The enigma that he is. So yeah, they're looking good. They actually favors the challenge the Warriors in this one. So in this season.
They certainly are. And the big question is with this Draymond Green situation, expiring contract. I know this sounds crazy, but he's on an expiring contract. There's word that he's probably not coming back to the team. Could you see a possible move with Green out of there? Because you're not getting him.
Green?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm down with Draymond Green. When I think about him, he's a bully. You know what I mean? So he's just one of those guys. Like, he's been doing this for years he's shown these this type of behavior. Maybe we don't know about situations that in that locker room because they keep things tight knit. But I think this isn't the first time that's happened. I can almost guarantee that. Years of just on the court, shenanigans, trying to kick LeBron James in the balls. In what was that, Game 3 of the finals, or Game 4 of the finals? Things like that. Talking crazy to the refs, or
wasn't he had heat with Durant too, right? He was probably the reason Durant left, right?
Yeah, calling Kevin Durant out. Saying that, in the in-game situation on the during the timeout. Things like that. listen, it's not an outlier what happened, with the young kid, so I'm not high on him. Just let's just put it that way. He's long in the tooth. He's 32. He's not talented on the court. That he's a smart basketball player. He's not a talented basketball player. As far as what they expect out of players nowadays. He's a type of player that's built for the 80s and 90s. I'll give him that. He's a tough guy, but yeah, and you could always tell that with Draymond Green, it seems like he's a loose cannon. You know what I'm saying? So, he has an opinion about everything. So that's
right.
That's a whole other story with this podcast.
And speaking about an opinion, I'm going to go off the rail here, but I'm telling you, Hubie Brown is 89 years old, going on 90, and he's still going to call up basketball games. They asked him a question about this new rules in the NBA. He goes, there's been nothing more impactful than the hand-checking rule, and it's helped the Golden State Warriors quite a bit.
Hey, I would agree. I would absolutely agree with that. If you listen, defense until the playoffs is basically out the window. You know what I mean? So, you have teams that love to score. I mean, if you watch over the years with this Golden State Warriors team, the spacing out on the court is absolutely phenomenal. They can pass well. They look like the '86 Celtics when they're passing sometimes. But it's a different game. You don't have the hand check. You don't have the physical play. So you can have Steph Curry coming down the lane being untouched without even a threat. So I don't know. It's a different game.
Different game. And if you remember correctly, when Curry and Thompson came early in the league, it took them. They got knocked out of the playoffs a lot. They were bullied a lot. And Curry was always experiencing ankle problems, a lot of ankle problems because he was bullied. But they never got to that point until they restricted defensive hand checking and stuff like that, because Thompson and Curry was not the effective type of player. He was hurt a lot with his ankles, always injured all the time.
Right. I mean, it was a lot of growing pains. They did have Monte Ellis, when he first got there. Klay Thompson came and then Draymond came. I think that's how it shaked out. But yeah, they had to go through growing pains because they were a young team. They went from being a bad team to getting better every year. And then once the rule change, happened, they exploded. And I would say this, that with Mark Jackson, they were more of a defensive-oriented team. So, the way things shaked out with the rules turning into how they were with a more offensive game, it was just a perfect storm, So, and then they lost being a 73 team, 73 win team. Then they had to get reinforcements, and they turned it to a dynasty, because I don't think they would have won another championship if they didn't get Kevin Durant, quite frankly.
Yep, that might have been the key there. All right, we got Javon here. Celtics under 53.5. We're getting ready for the NBA now in 8 days and 58 seconds away here, 58 minutes away from the start here of the NBA. So NBA is fast approaching here as I'm getting in some training camp video right now. I guess the NBA is live here on some of these training camps right now as we're getting really close here. The final few preseason games here. I'm going to go see the Clippers on Wednesday. I think the final preseason games are coming up this week, so I can see what they look like in person. But anyway, we've got the Celtics. Notice I didn't say the Lakers. I'm not going to see. I know what the Lakers would look like. I'm not going to waste my time watching that team. But anyway, under 15.5 wins. All right, Javon, let's take a look at what's going on over at Pick.com. We've got a big NFL game going on tonight. Of course, the Raiders and Chiefs. Great results the last 3 days. 2,004 units of profit, all documented over at Pick.com. You can verify those numbers. All right, we got the NFL on tap tonight. We've got baseball playoffs starting tomorrow with those 4 games headed into college football weekend, which begins Wednesday. What do you have going over at Pick.com Premium?
Yeah, it's Monday, so you know what that means. Time to get money with my Money Bag Monday Night Football Mayhem play. It's gonna be a hitter. Also have this. I have to side in the total. The total is my total beatdown. So check those out. Also, check out the next coming days we have the AON NLDS respectively. And I'm gonna have plays on those. We have college football coming this week in the NFL on Thursday. Bad game on Thursday. Wow, I can't believe they have that game. Washington and Chicago. But hey, whatever. It's football, so gonna have set on that too. You know what I mean? Then head into the weekend. But yeah, check out my 3-day, my 7-day, my 30-day, my yearly. So also check me out one of the other handicappers for the 2-for-1 cap promotional. Can't go wrong here. Sports chat, play some pick dogs. Let's get it.
Let's get it, guys. Get on board here with Javon Birch over at Pick Dogs. We're looking at these numbers: 2,004 units of profit last 3 days. Now's the time to get on board with Javon. He does have his play here from Monday Night Football. It's Monday Night Football Mayhem. Get on board with that play right now, individually priced with credit guarantee. Means it must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account. That's what credit guarantee is. Also, you may consider here with Javon going with a longer term. He also has the side and total, by the way, so both individual plays there. You may consider the longer term pass here with Jovan. Now he's been red hot. We've been seeing this for weeks. He's been doing fantastic work. Why don't you go ahead and get the 1 month all sports pass from Jovan? Get all of Javon's plays here for a month. That would include all his NFL for a month, all his college football for a month, and of course the remainder of the Major League Baseball playoffs all the way to the end of the World Series. Also in play, as we said, just 8 days away is the start of the NBA, so it'll be all those NBA premium plays as well. So a great time to get on board with Javon. We got those 4 sports overlapping now. We got college football, we have NFL, Major League Baseball playoffs, and the NBA here beginning in 8 days. A week from tomorrow, we'll be getting ready for the start of the NBA season. So a good time to get on board. Javon's been on fire here. 2,004 units of profit here the last 3 days, showing great profit in the NFL, showing great profit in college football. So get on board. Had a great profitable season last year in the NBA at 1,244 units of profit. Ready to roll here with the Javon guys, so get on board. We're getting right into the meat of our season here with all these sports overlapping. So a great time to get on board with Javon Birch. 1 month all sports pass, save 15%. Use the promo code 15 off, and you'll save 15% off that 1 month all sports pass from Javon. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Javon, as always, great having the show. Continue that success, but I know you also contribute to Pick Dogs with your parlay video.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a light slate, tomorrow with baseball. So we'll look at it, see if I come up with anything, see if I come up with a good team that I find suitable to, shoot for a video, see what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm still gonna have video, parlays throughout the week. It's just light around this time of year. Waiting for basketball to come through, so definitely gonna get some parlays with the NBA.
That's right, NBA aboard 8 days away. All right, Javon, continue that success. We'll talk with you again on Friday.
Absolutely. See you on Friday.
You got it. Javon Birch here on The Drive. Let's continue your coverage. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we will do a complete recap at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here. Time to welcome in Ninos. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Also contribute to the weekend shows over at Pick Dogs, so let's bring him in right now. Wasn't there Saturday, but we caught him on the Sunday show, so you always got to make a note here to catch the morning shows on the weekends as well. Let's bring in Al right now. Al, what's happening?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go. 8:15 Eastern Time. Chiefs here to host the Raiders. The Chiefs laying 7, total 51.5, but you'll be looking at this one a different way with a player prop.
Yeah, Jovan mentioned he had his side and total, so I do as well. So I figured why not look at a prop tonight. It should be a fun game to watch, and I'm looking at a touchdown scorer here. And we could start with the honorable mention, since there are quite a few candidates for these to score a touchdown tonight, I believe. But if we look at these defenses to begin with, they have been better against the run than against the pass. If you look at the offenses, they have been better throwing the ball than running it. So I'm going to look at a receiving touchdown rather than a running touchdown, and running back here. Kelsey would be my top pick, but he's getting a little pricey now, so we'll move down the list. He's been playing really well. I believe he's caught a touchdown in 3 of the 4 games so far, but again, as I said, a bit too pricey. So moving on down the list, I think there was a ton of value still. Darren Waller was almost the pick I went with just because of the value. I think he's around plus 250. A bit of a slow start, but the Chiefs have given up some yardage and touchdowns to tight ends so far this season. So I think if you want to take a shot on Waller, that's not a bad idea either, to have a big game after a couple quiet weeks there. And the one we'll be looking at, though, is Devonte Adams here. I think he's probably the most likely candidate to score at plus money here. So that's the pick we're going with. He's been playing pretty well. And yeah, as I said, the Chiefs pretty weak against the pass, so I don't see another reason why he wouldn't find the end zone tonight. He scored in the first 3 weeks. He didn't find the end zone last week, but he did have 100 yards, 101 yards receiving. So big game from him. And well, we're not going to worry about the yardage, although that is another good look. I think the over there, but I think I'd rather stick to the touchdown after he didn't score last week. So give me Devonte Adams to score a touchdown here tonight.
Devonte Adams, anytime touchdown here at plus 110. Yeah, he gets heavily targeted there for the Raiders. Renfro, not so much, but it looks like Devonte Adams is the guy. We'll see if the Raiders' run game can work here against the Chiefs. Chiefs stopping the run this year, but we'll see. Teams have to throw usually against the Chiefs anyway, because they usually, if they're coming from behind. It doesn't matter how you handicap this game. If you like the Chiefs, then you know the Raiders are going to have to throw the ball. It'll be a high volume throwing here for Carr, and of course you always got to. And this is one thing about we're not. I know the point spread is 7, and we're not discussing the point spread in this one. But again, if the Chiefs are up 2 scores, they have a tendency sometimes to let that backdoor come in, and this may be one of those games where they get the. And Carr. It seems he seems to be like Stafford a little bit in those games when they're behind. He seems to have success. And you could see a late touchdown here by the Raiders if they're down 2 scores, and this could be one of the Adams here.
Yeah, of course. We hear a lot about Patrick Mahomes, probably the best quarterback in the league right now. Definitely the one I'd go with or I'd choose. But yeah, Derek Carr, very capable quarterback as well. And especially throwing the ball, and maybe not as good a runner as Mahomes is, but he could throw the ball. He can throw the ball deep too, and as we've seen, he's already targeting Adams. Renfro's back in the lineup, so that should open up some space for Adams as well. So whether it's early, they might try to keep the Chiefs offense off the field early, but as you said, they'll have to throw the ball sooner or later. I mean, even I would expect them early. As I said, the Chiefs haven't been bad against the run, so if they stop them on first and second down, they'll eventually have to throw that ball even early. So could be a big play, could be in the red zone, but I like Adams to find the end zone tonight.
All right, Devonte Adams here, anytime touchdown plus 110. Also note the Chiefs are giving up 264 yards passing, 70% completion rate. I know Tampa Bay had to come back from behind. They had to throw a lot. So this may be one of those situations here where we see a high volume of passes. All right, Devonte Adams, anytime touchdown plus 110. This would have a start time here of 8:15 Eastern time. All right, now, Ninos, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight. We know there's just one game here on the board here from the NFL, of course, the Chiefs and Raiders. Also, too, tomorrow starts the NHL season, and Ninos was a unit leader last year in the NHL, 2,824 units of profit, as we have, the North American opening night here as they start the season in Prague this over the weekend. So the North American opening night here tomorrow. So NHL, we have 2 games on the board, then the big cards begin here on Wednesday and throughout the week. Of course, we have baseball again tomorrow. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I haven't. The lines just came out earlier this afternoon for the baseball games, so we'll be looking at those shortly. But I do have my NHL, my best bet for tomorrow's games in the NHL up already on the site if you're looking for that. And of course, I'm sure everyone's interested in the football a little bit more. It's probably a little more popular choice tonight than the hockey tomorrow, maybe. But anyways, they take money just the same in hockey, so definitely check that out as well. But yeah, I got my side and total on tonight's game if you're looking for those. But good time to grab a long-term pass because I couldn't fit them into a 3-pack. So if you want all the action, good time to get on one of those long-term 2-for-1 capper specials.
That's right, guys. Got board with Ninos over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, great results in hockey. Hockey season begins tomorrow here in North America. It restarts again tomorrow, I should say. Ninos side and total right now from this NFL game. You can buy those plays individually now. Of course, credit guaranteed. They must win, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account. That is credit guarantee. Also, the long-term pass you may consider here with Al's already in action with an NHL Tuesday power play. So if you're looking for a big hockey bet, he's got one. He's already isolated a play tonight from the NHL for tomorrow. So you get on board there with L's at power play pick right now, as he was a top unit producer in the NHL, 2,824 units of profit in the NHL that is fully documented over at Pick Dogs. You may consider that 7-day pass from Mel. Get all of Al's premium plays for 7 days. We include all his baseball, cover most of the divisional series here, AL and NLDS. We've got a 5-game series, so we're guaranteed for 12 games, and then if necessary games will be the games 4 and 5 of these series. And of course, we'll include the NFL. We got NFL, those 2 plays up there tonight. And then, of course, Al's in action for the Thursday night game. And again, back to the Sunday game. So that's a good time to get on board with that 7-day pass. Remember, college football, we have it here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and Saturday. 4 days of college football this week. And again, hockey restarts again tomorrow. So the hockey is part of that 7-day pass as well. Al Ninos already in action with the Tuesday NHL power play. Of course, we start the big cards now coming up here from the NHL with all these teams in action. It's a great time to get on board with the long-term pass. With all these sports overlapping, it is the best value right now are these long-term passes. That 7-day pass, you could use the promo code 15 off at checkout, and you'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion, even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, great having you show. Keep up that great work. We'll talk with you a little bit here on the recap.
All right, see you in a minute, Tom.
All right. Out here on the drive-thru. Guys, we're seeing a lot of people sign in here. If you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap here at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It is time for my pick, and we're going to go look at a series pick for you here on the show. But we were successful with the Guardians here in their first round matchup here against the Rays, and we're going to come right back on them again with our series pick. And we're going to take the Guardians to win best of 5. Plus 175. You guys saw the pitching. You saw how good this pitching staff is, starters and relievers. Look, they sweated through a 15-inning win there to close out the series against the Rays. I know the Rays were a bad road team, but I just like the way I see from Bieber, from their starter Quantrill. They got the young kid in there as well, and the bullpen has been outstanding. They've been winning these close games, and I just give them the pitching edge here in this one, in this game. So I will look at the Guardians here to take it the best of 5 here again in this series here against the New York Yankees with those really great 3 good starters they have going for them here in their rotation. And I would give them definitely a pitching edge and the hitting edge as well. I like what I'm seeing from this Washington team. I won't say hitting edge. I'm just saying the fact that they're a clutch team. They win the close games, and they've just got it done with their youth, and their both youth and pitching has been really coming through for them. I want to just take a look here at their pitching, their starting pitching rotation. I know we're going to see Quantrill. We're definitely going to see Bieber in this one. And I think when we get home, we're probably going to see their second-year star up here as well. So it may be that may be the case in this series, but it's okay. I like the way the matchups shake up here for this Guardians team. So I'll be looking at it at plus 175. This team, Mitch said he was riding this team. I was riding them as well toward the end of the season in those big series against the Twins, against the White Sox. They just put away those teams. I mean, the way they played there in those clutch games, and of course you saw them winning those nail biters against the Rays. They just found a way to win games. So we'll be looking at the Guardians here at plus 175. And of course, McKenzie is the other pitcher I was thinking about here with those three studs in their rotation. I think they should have success here. And of course, don't forget that bullpen has been outstanding there for Cleveland. And we'll go with them and win the best of 5 here against the Yankees team. And it looks like we are going to have Quantrill here against Cole. And Cole, I think at home, just a 500 pitcher team record. If you look over the past 3 seasons, nothing special there with Cole. But Quantrill's been outstanding here. If you go back and look at his numbers here, the team wins for him. 15-5 record this year. So pretty good matchup there, I think, for Cleveland coming in tomorrow. But I like him here to win the best of 5 series in this one. Someone had asked me earlier in the chat here about the what we're talking about here, the Dodgers and the Padres series. And really what I thought about it for the most part is the Dodgers pretty much, their pitching really is controlled the Padres. Kershaw's had a really good record here against the Padres. He's starting tomorrow. Urias as well. I think that's a pretty good tandem there with Urias and Kershaw going in there. Of course, they got the Anderson, the left-hander. We may see Gonzalez in one of those opener roles where he pitches 3 or 4 innings, and then they come in with the bullpen. So the bullpen's been sharp. Dodgers they're no strangers. They know what the Padres bring to the table, and they've had success. I know the number's big, and I know there's a lot of excitement over there for San Diego after they're beating the Mets, but beating the Dodgers, I think, is going to be big monumental task here. Yeah, I going at Cleveland here. I'm not a big fan of Plesac. Savali, I would prefer. Again, they may have to be, again, with the way they've condensed these series, going back to this Cleveland series, they may have to use Plesac or Savali in the situations here, in high leverage situations. But I would rather see Savali than Plesac, to be honest with you. That's the one guy I'm scared of in that pitching rotation. I'm okay with Bieber, okay with McKenzie. Quantrill's cool. But Plesac's the one that scares me. But I would rather see Savali jump over. I would rather see Savali take the number 4 role in this spot. That's how I look at it. If they do go that route, I feel much more confident with that, with the way that rotation works there for Cleveland. Because that was a little. Everyone's going to face that issue here with these condensed playoffs now. Is that 4th starter? Where are you going to go? Right. That's always the big concern. But I'm okay with that with the Guardians here. And of course, again going back to that Dodgers. I'm not comfortable taking that big price with the Padres. Just not only because I've seen too much Kershaw, Urias, and Anderson against the Padres. It's just hard. And they have really had good success against the Padres in their home ballpark this year. There's been some times when the Padres gave them some trouble, but again, this is a different situation. And again, they're forced to throw Clevenger here in Game 1. There's no Darvish. Now, they've beaten Darvish before. They've beaten Snell before. These are the guys they've seen many times over the past several seasons. So these are the Dodgers have game plan. They've scouted them. They know what to see from these guys. And of course, that lineup is too strong right now. And I'm not going to step in front of the Dodgers here in this series. I know it's a big price. I know there's people out there that want to jump on the Padres because it's a good value there. But the only underdogs that I like is in this one. I like is the Guardians of all the teams here. I was thinking here of the Phillies with Suarez. Ranger Suarez had some pretty good starts against Atlanta, but again. Recent form is going to probably have to take over. We saw that with Bassett, right? Bassett had all those great stats coming in, but recent form was kind of shady, and that's what came into play here was the recent form. All right, Guardians plus 175, again, that best of 5 series against the Yankees. Guys, I have my best bet from the NFL up there right now, coming off another winning weekend in the NFL. So I'll get on board with my plays right now, my NFL play, also my long-term passes, 3, 7, or 30 All Sports Pass. You get all of my premium plays for that period of time. You select when you go to my handicapper page and you make that purchase and use the promo code WIN15 at checkout, you'll save 15% off. Remember that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Add me with another capper here on Pick Dogs, even greater value there. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Now it's time for the recap. We got Ninos waiting patiently, and let's go ahead and bring him in right now. Let's do the recap. Jay was on Pat Mahomes to throw an interception at plus 140. Brad liked the Bulls over 42.5 wins. We had Jovan take the Celtics under 53.5 wins. We had Ninos, Devonte Adams, anytime touchdown, plus 110. I'm on the Guardians, plus 175 to win the best of 5 series against the Yankees. All right, Al, other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
I'll go with the Bulls to get over the 42.5 wins they did last year. I think they got a good team that's just going to get better the longer they play together, and starting the season off healthy. So as long as they stay healthy, I like this number.
Yeah, that's always a big question there with the Bulls. And I'm going to go with Javon's pick, Celtics under 53.5. It seems a tad high. I'm not saying they're going to be a bad team. They'll be a playoff team. They may get a bye. Oh, I'm sorry. They should get a finish in the 3 or 4 seed. I think they will have home court in the first round, but I just don't think they're going to be one of those teams near the top of the Eastern Conference. Again, there's just a lot of good teams there. We didn't even mention Miami when we're talking with John. We were naming all these teams. Another one came up to mind was the Miami Heat. We didn't talk about. And Orlando is a team that's showing some improvement too. They have some talent on those teams, so be careful there when you make that swing into Florida. So it's going to be quite an interesting season here. And of course, the Celtics, Williams out. Robert Williams, man. That's a big injury. No one talks about him. And you saw what happened last year when Williams missed. The Celtics defense went the other way. And they gave up a lot of points. And, of course, you may look at some overs here without Williams in the lineup. That may be something to look at here. I'll go with the Celtics games. You'll probably see some high-scoring games. All right, that's going to do it for the drive-thru, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers in from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. We'll have plays for you here. We'll have baseball on the menu, and we'll have some hockey on the menu, right? The hockey North American opening night. We'll have 2 games in the primetime hour here from the NHL, 2 from baseball, and more. We'll probably have some more. We'll throw it up to the cappers if they want to bring in some picks here for you from the NBA season win total. So we'll have a full show for you guys. So make sure you tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 Eastern time. Don't forget, every day at 10 a.m. each time, it's the morning show. You got Mitch, you got Chris, you got Rod, and of course the video series with Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. You got Javon's parlay, you got Ron Romanelli's MLB rundown, and you've got the NFL and college football shows coming up middle of the week. So make sure you guys tune in, like and subscribe, set notifications, and we can't forget Brad and Mills here on Saturday with their UFC show right after the morning show. So make sure you guys tune in. All right, that's going to do it